Hello everyone and welcome back to Age of Nagash, which is of course a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. And in this video we are going to be talking about my thoughts on the new Stormcast Terminals Battle Tome. And this is going to be very much like the video I did for the Orc Warclans Battle Tome review. If you haven't seen that already, this is just going to be an initial review. Basically just going to go over my likes and my dislikes of this battle tome from a very much summary perspective. This is not going to be a deep dive, anything like that. And this is because you guys know that my style of reviewing armies and battle tomes is long and in-depth in general. And as you can see, this, like in my many series I've done, such as, Nighthorn, Man-King of Nurgle, Gloom's by Git, Slaves of Darkness, Flesh-Eater Court, Beasts of Chaos, Ossiarch, Bone Reapers, etc. And obviously now the Soulblight Gravelords that I'm currently doing, which each of those series is about 10 to 20 hours long. Which means I can't do that for every battle tome upon release. And another reason why I'm doing like a dislike-like format is basically because loads of YouTubers have already reviewed this book far quicker than I have. And they've already done good reviews and everything, nothing wrong with it, but they all kind of, for me, seem about pretty much the same. And what I'd like to do is offer you guys something a bit different before I do a long in-depth review on these battle tomes, which I will at some point in the future when you guys vote for it. But in the meantime, here are my likes and dislikes about it with the new changes. If you guys are interested in getting a more in-depth look of this new battle tome already, I can recommend the AOS Coach. He has already done a good video for the Orc Warclan one and also the Stormcast Eternals one. So check that out after this video if you'd like to get that a bit more in-depth look. But with that aside, let us get straight into it. And what I will say as well, guys, as always, if you do enjoy the video, please smash the like button, the subscribe button and the bell notification. That all massively helps out the channel, keeps the channel going. If you would like to, smash the join button and click the link at my Patreon down below, but we can get to that at the end of the video. And we're going to be starting with the worst part and then we'll leave with the positives, the likes. So starting with the dislikes. As you can see on this list, there's not really many. And the reason for this is because I actually, in all honesty, shamefully, as being Nagash here and mentioned hate Stormcast, I actually really quite like this book. I think there's loads of good options in there. I think it's a nice done out book, but we'll get to that in the likes bit. But that just kind of explains why there's not many dislikes and some of them are very nitpicky, and had to kind of try and fill the list to make this video seem relevant in its title. So the first one, and kind of really the only main one, which is also not really specific to the Stormcast Terminal Battle Tome, as I did notice it in the Orc Warclans one as well, but I sort of mainly noticed it when I looked through the Stormcast one, and that's basically the removal of command abilities. So this is something that I very much don't like, as I think command abilities was a really, really cool way to sort of customize sort of tactics and everything that you wanted to sort of take forward and really try and capitalize on. Like if I was to compare this Stormcast Terminals book to the Soulblight Gravelords book, so many more like foot heroes or just any heroes have command abilities. Now in the Stormcast book, like again, I might have missed one. That's fair enough, I have. You can let me know in the comments. But I don't think I actually read any command abilities on War Scrolls. And what they have seemed to have done is where there might have been a command ability, they may have just completely got rid of it, or they've turned it into a generic ability that no longer is a command ability and requires a command point being spent and other restrictions around that. And I find this quite a bit bizarre because we've got so many more command points now going into 3rd edition that it'd be a lot easier to use these command abilities. Some of these command abilities were on War Scrolls that you never really spent a command point using because it was never worth the resource. Now you've got more of that resource, you may be tempted to use those command abilities. You now don't have the option. Now I get it, this could be like there's some very, very strong command abilities out there, and the fact that you can never really use all of them because you never had enough command points like we were just talking about, and now you do. Now that would make things in the game really not nice and things too powerful. That might be the case in something I haven't seen. But I just thought, taking away that sort of customization you can have when you're building your list, when you're playing your games, your tactics, by taking away those command abilities, I find that a bit sad. Again, some of them have been turned to generic, like kind of passive abilities. So that's fair enough. But the other thing to mention with that is that with the changes to sub-factions / sub-allegiances, in this case Storm Hosts, and this has also been a change in the Orc Warclans Battle Tome as well, that usually when you picked a Storm Host, let's just say the Hallowed Knight, you picked that one, you had a generic ability, what you got from being Hallowed Knights, you then had a command ability you got from being Hallowed Knights, and then you would have a command trait you would have to take and an artifact you would have to take, right? So the changes they've done now is that when you pick a sub-allegiance, so the Storm Host, in this case again, Hallowed Knights, you get that ability you get from just being Hallowed Knights, but that's it. And the good thing about that is it means that you're not stuck choosing a command trait from the Storm Host you picked, which is Hallowed Knights. When I say choosing, there's one there, you have to take it. And the same with the artifact as well, you have to take that. And that could always seem sometimes a bit of a tax. Some of these sub-allegiances, though, had a good command trait and a good artifact, but a lot of them were, a lot of the time, mainly tax. But what you could have done instead of picking a Storm Host, I think for the Stormcast, you could just pick a generic command trait from a big list that you had, so you had choice there, and an artifact from the list as well. But the problem by doing that, because you weren't going a Storm Host, is that you lost out on that Storm Host ability. Like we said, like the Hallowed Knights, you just get a generic ability. You lost out on that. So here we are in the new book. And that means that you can pick a Storm Host. You can get all the benefits, such as, that ability, but also like unlocking certain battle line for your army. It's a big thing, especially the Stormcast Turtles. Jesus Christ, they have a huge amount of potential battle line they have to choose from. Seriously, it's loads. So you unlock that. But the bad thing, what I'm trying to get to, is that you've lost that generic command ability you got from the Storm Host in this case, because that's not anywhere else in the book as far as I'm aware, unless I've missed it. And again, that's the same as the Uruk War clans with their different sub-allegiances they had, for the Ironjaws, Bone Splitters, and the Cruel Boys are new. So we can see this as being a trend going forward, and it's not really a thing that I'm a fan of, seeing that these command abilities disappear, because I've used to Age of Sigmar ever since, the start of Age of Sigmar, and if you wanted to use a command ability, you had to make the person with the command ability the general to be able to use that. I remember those days, and that's why I've always valued command abilities, and I've always liked reading command abilities on war scrolls. Like, shall we say, when a new hero comes out for an army that I collect, I'd be interested to reading his war scroll to see if he's got a command ability. How can that add synergy to my army to improve my troops, my favourite units in the game? And then they've taken that away, and then you just kind of... The generic command abilities are fine. I know that's kind of what they're emphasising on us to start using, but, if that's the main ones for us to use, some of them are just... It's going to get really boring, and that's in my honest opinion. But then again, like I say, I'm going to go more towards narrative play, so... you can come up with command abilities, and certain narrative battle plans have command abilities you can use. And one of my favourite armies to play currently is Soulblight Gravelords, and it's kind of like they've got pretty much outdated rules because they came out just before 3rd edition, but they've still got all those command abilities they can use in their war scroll, so it's not really bothering me. I'm not really too fussed, but that's kind of the main thing I disliked about not just this battle tome, but again, it's it's Uruk War Clan one, but there were more negatives than that, so I thought I'd talk about it in this video for the Stormcast Tunnels. But yeah, the removal of the abilities, the command abilities that is, I find that a little bit annoying, and just I think a bit of a shame. But then again, a lot of those command abilities have been turned to passive abilities, but I just think it's a bit of a shame if we're all going to start using the same command abilities from the generic core rules. But with that, the next thing to talk about is that the Knight Azeros Light of Sigmar has got worse. Now, again, I'm not picking out every single change in this battle tome to see what's got worse, what's got better. That's not what this video is about. But that's just something that I was aware of. And the reason for this is because it affects a lot of the shooting, where instead of you being able to re-roll those ones to hit, you're now +1 to hit for his Light of Sigmar. You can check that on his war scroll if you want to find out what that is. But the reason why that has got worse is because there's so many ways now to get +1 to hit. And, well, I don't really know. There's so many ways now. Some armies are more than others. But +1 to hit, just a +1, is really easy with all-out attack, right? So the fact that this gives you +1 to hit, and you can't stack it unless the enemy's obviously making -1 to hit, but let's just say that's not happening. You can't stack it. So then it just feels more wasted, whereas the reroll ones to hit would have paired up really, really nicely with the changes to all-out attack. All-out shoot or volley fire, I can't remember what it's called for the shooting one, don't play many shooting armies. But they have changed it, and that's just because rerolls are phasing out of the game, really. They really are trying to do that. So not really much surprise, but just something to bear in mind that has affected the Stormcast shooting capability. And then the last thing is that clearly there should have been more dragons. Now, this is something that's came to my attention that unfortunately there wasn't any surprise war scrolls in the book where you go, I never remember seeing these 20 new dragon units. And then Games Workshop goes, surprise, check the community site, there's loads of dragons there. Joking aside, I absolutely love dragons. Flight of the Dragons, all of that, as you would have heard that throughout loads of the videos and preview videos, really talking about the news for those dragons coming out. Absolutely love them. And then would have just liked more. But, you know, we've got enough as we've got. And to be honest, I was just trying to fill out this list for you guys. So let's just go on to the things that I want to talk about, which are the likes. But like I said, there are some dislikes in this battle tome. They're not really specific to this battle tome, to be absolutely honest with you. And again, guys, like I said, this is my first thoughts, my first review. So, you know, it may change when I get around to doing a full in-depth review of these guys. But anyway, going on to the likes. And again, some of these are a bit similar to the Yorick War Clan ones, but that's simply just because it's true. The narrative is cool. Again, you know, Stormcast Tunnels, bear in mind just their existence was brand new, 6 years ago? These demigod-like beings in Age of Sigmar, and they've really have developed quite a bit. I definitely like the play they do on them, of the whole, it's nothing really new, we've known about this for a few years now, but you know, every time a Stormcast Tunnel gets reforged, loses a piece of them, and that really leads into the next part what I want to talk about, which is talking about the Path to Glory rules. We skip to that because they've got some missions to choose from, you know, some quests, they've got some upgrades specific for the Stormcast Tunnels you can take. And then there's also some battle plans specifically for them as well, which is always nice. And there's like things where instead of when your warlord gets slain, instead of it just being killed and you have to pick a new one, it can get reforged. When it does, it can lose like this resource called renown. So that means like basically as he gets reforged, he's losing his memory. So like these great deeds of renown he has, he can't remember them. So he really doesn't really get the renown for it. And then eventually he just can't get any renown. So it's really quite cool how they've really sort of adapted the rules a little bit to fit the army. And again, they did stuff not exactly like that, but similar for the Yorick War Clans as well. So it's nice that they are really playing on the Path to Glory rules. And as you guys know, if you watched my videos before, recently I said that I'm looking at doing a Path to Glory campaign when I can basically have more time away from work and sort of more reliable, being able to plan time to be able to commit to doing a Path to Glory and hopefully recording it for you guys. Definitely a big fan of seeing these new rules coming in. My opponent for the Path to Glory will probably be playing Stormcast, so this is good for him. Very nice there. And as I am actually building up a Stormcast army, I know you can boo me if you want to, but Stormcast Eternals, I'm definitely liking them now that I'm seeing more dragons. But also, I've got loads of Stormcast Eternals from the Mortal Realm magazines for when I was building up my Nighthorn army. And as I've gone for like a sort of like Roman colour scheme for them, I very much generally enjoy painting them. I've only painted one, but generally quite enjoyed it. So I will be maybe doing my own Path to Glory with Stormcast Eternals at one day soon. So it was very nice for me to read that. And like I said, very much into the narrative sort of things for my own personal gaming. So just think this game is always a lot cooler when you tell a story and it's not all just about who wins on a match play game. It's about what cool epic moments you can make within that battle. But then going and sticking with the narrative theme, just go out quickly, just say it's nice to see that War Scroll battalions are still a thing for narrative play. Now again, that's exactly what I said for the Yorick War Clans, and that's just because there are traditional War Scroll battalions, which means the ones that are not core battalions, they are just War Scroll battalions, so you can use them in open play and narrative play, and it's generally quite good. There's a lot to choose from in this battle tome compared to the Yorick War Clans, and probably there's more to choose from in this battle tome than there will be in another army, because bear in mind that the Yorick War Clans was split into three, really, isn't it? Because you've got the Cruel Boys, the Angels, and the Bone Splitters, and I'm saying they have less than the Stormcast. Then you can imagine an army like Flesh Eater Courts, when they get a new battle tome, probably going to have even less. And again, a lot of you guys probably don't care about War Scroll battalions, but like I said, I'm doing more narrative play. I will be using them and stuff, so it's nice to see that they were heavily used in this book. And when I was reading the rules to them, they're not all just like copy and pasted. To be absolutely honest with you, they do look like they put a bit of thought into the rules. They sound a bit fun, not just you can have +1 to hit, even that you can't stack it, or something boring like that. They put a bit of thought into it. There's one, I can't remember which one it was, but it's like 2 units can fight instead of 1 when you pick a unit to fight in the combat phase, things like that, which has made it a bit more fun. But there is no battalion, War Scroll battalion, for the new dragons, which is a shame. I was like, you flip through them, basically there's one for every of those new chambers, you know, that came out over the years of the Stormcast, but then there's none for the new dragons. So that's sad. But overall, happy to see that there are Water God battalions and Stormcast Eternals. And then going on to just saying that Stormcast Eternals can be a solid fun army. And when I say this, I said the same thing when I talked about, you know, the Iron Jaws and the Cruel Boys. I don't want to just make it sound like I'm copying and pasting the same thing over, basically, in this format. But it kind of is the thing. Same thing. I do think that the Stormcast Eternals, they're not going to be, you know, dominating the meta. I don't think they're going to be, you know, up there winning every tournament, shall we say. But I don't think they're going to be losing every tournament either. And I know that very much easily puts them into the middle. But I think because the book, and again, it's skipping down to what I've put a little bit further down on this, because this book has so many ridiculously vast amount of options you can have for your armies and list building, I really feel like this army will struggle to do really bad. I feel like the new dragons are very good going forward, which is nice because those new dragons, again, I like the models, so it would have been a shame if they're bad. And you think, well, all new models that come out are really good because Games Workshop wants you to buy them. As much as that makes sense, bear in mind the Mortal Hedonites of Slaanesh release, because, you know, they are absolutely beautiful models, but in-game are look fantastic in a display cabinet. So it's good to see that the dragons are good, and I don't think they're like really, really broken or anything like that. I just think they're just generally good, and you'll see them played quite a bit. And like to say, the Stormcast has so many options that you can really build this army how you want to. And it's true that it's one of those things where it's kind of like good at everything, but the master of none. I think it can definitely specialise in some areas more than others. I do want to say a nice change I did see, though, is a lot of the Paladin units, if not all of them, have all gone to a 3+ save, apart from obviously the new ones with the shields. I think they were 2+ save. But, like, you know, Retributors, Protectors, all like 3+, which is really good. Because I think Paladins, I don't know if they are the best thing to take in the book, shall we say, but from what I quickly read, it's definitely something I would like to do. With the ones that I've got from the Mortal Realm magazines, I will be trying to build a heavy Paladin list, because especially when you take them in the Knight Excelsius, I believe it is, they become battle line, firstly, fantastic, and then they get extra bonuses just to make them even more, doing more damage, especially, basically what it is, you go against an enemy unit that has more models than you, chances are your units are going to have models of 3 or potentially 5, the enemy's going to outnumber you, which is fan-bloody-tastic, as it means that you'll be able to do a lot more control of the direction of the pain towards your enemy rather than towards yourself. So that's very nice to see there. And then I would also like to say with this is that you do obviously get grand strategies, battle tactics and core battalions. And I think that the core battalions you get for the Stormcast Eternals, I think they're more useful than the core battalions you get for the Yorick War Clans. Now again, you can quote me on that if you like, but this is just the first initial review, and I just mean how you're building your lists. I think it works out well. You know, you can include things that are monsters in this, which is nice, which is something I didn't like about the Yorick War Clans. You couldn't include more crushers and stuff. And I know there are, again, core battalions in the core rulebook for things like that, but always nice to be able to see that in your own battle tome, of course. And then battle tactics and grand strategies. And, you know, you guys can be the judge to see if you think, as you guys who are Stormcast players, if you are watching this, you'll know more than me if you think those grand strategies and battle tactics are more easier to achieve than the ones in the core book. But either or, you have both to choose from, so it is nice to see that. And lastly, like the Yorick War Clans battle tome, and this is definitely a reassurance that this is going to be the same for all battle tomes, so as we're aware, you will get a code for the AOS app. So that means that the AOS app that's currently in beta, you can basically log into that if you like to. I haven't currently logged in, I'm just using it without signing in. It's been working absolutely fine. Really like the app. It's been really, really easy to use and a really nice user interface, as I personally think. And trust me, if I had any problem with the app, I'd be criticising GW as much as possible over it. But they've done a good job as far as I am aware, and it's beta, so I don't have to pay for it. So that's all good. And you can type your code, your unique code you get from the back of the book, into the app, and then you have extra rules and stuff on your phone for that, which is absolutely fantastic. As Age of Sigmar, at first it was like a game that required like 4 pages to know how to play, which was the core rules back in the day. And then it slowly but surely turned into lots of books to take, and it just became quite frankly annoying. I think at one point there was like 4 books I had to bring, just so I had all the rules with me. And even when it's just your battle tome, it's nice to just have all the rules on your phone. You have your battle tome next to you in case you need it, but all the rules on your phone. You're not flicking through all the pages. And again, I do like having physical copies of books. You know, that's why I generally buy all my books in physical copies. You know, the new book smell and all that sort of thing. But your phone's just easier to access, isn't it? In your pocket. So it's good that you've got a code to go onto the app. You just feel like you're getting better value for your books as well. And yeah, guys, so with that is going to be the end of my dislikes and likes. Like, coming up with dislikes, could probably not really come up with many more unless I really studied this book and really try to find things. But with likes, there's probably more I could find, because generally I'm quite excited to one day, when I get around to build my Stormcast Eternals army, I've got this new book to pick from. That new book is absolutely huge. I will just say, talking about a ridiculous amount of options. Just to quickly say that if you missed the Broken Realms from Raffi book that came out, where you had the Stormcast, they're just coming lightning down from the skies. They can actually be taken in Stormkeep. So when you choose your Stormcast Eternal army, you have to choose you want to go Stormkeep, you want to go from the skies. Feels a little bit if you want to go Starborn or Coalesced for the Seraphon. It's what reminded me of a little bit. But if you go basically Stormkeep, so on the ground, you get to include coalition units in your army, which is 1 in 4 units, I believe it is, can be is a Sigmar unit, which just opens so many more doors. There's so many potential options you can take in your army. Very much if you're taking a Sigmar army, and 1 in 4 can be a Stormcast Eternal unit. It's just the flip around on that, which is always nice to see. And yes, I just thought I'd add that at the end before I forget. But yeah, with that, guys, overall thoughts on this book, I like it. And that's talking to someone who's not currently a Stormcast Eternals player. So take that outsider's opinion as much as you would like to. If you are a Stormcast Eternals player and you have got an opinion you'd like to share, put it down below. Anything you disagreed with what I thought, put that down below. But let me know why. Don't just say I'm wrong, because no one learns anything from that. Let us know your thoughts, your experience in the comments. Everyone's going to learn from that at the end of the day. And it'll just be great for you to share your thoughts. And like I say, constructive, everything else like that. Otherwise, it's just pointless. And as always, guys, if you did enjoy the video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that bell button. 3 easy clicks. They massively go straight towards helping the channel. By smashing the like button, it shows to me that you enjoy this content, and then it shows to YouTube that people enjoy this video, so hopefully it recommends this video to more people. By subscribing to the channel, at the end of the day, that's how the channel grows. And then by clicking the bell button means that you never miss one of my future videos. So if you're liking any of the series I'm doing, I've had quite a bit of time off making videos lately, but I'm going to try and go back into more of a, one every 3 days or something like that. Hopefully, like maybe at least 2 or 3 a week going forward. So stick around for that. Smash that bell button so it means you don't miss them, especially as I do a lot of premieres. If you don't want to miss that, smash the bell button. That would be amazing. If you feel like you know someone who enjoyed this video, make sure you share it with them. If you would like to join the amazing community we've got in the Asian Nagash Discord, there's a link to that in the description of this video, where we've got people talking about lore, list building, hobby, painting, building, conversions, news all the time. So join the community. Absolutely amazing if you would like to. You certainly won't regret it, I can tell you that much. And last but certainly not least, if you would like to support the channel that step further, as I always say, if you click the join button, it'll allow you to become a member here in Asian Nagash, or you click the link at the top of the description down below to my Patreon, take you there, and then you can give anything from just $1 a month there, or anything from just £1 a month on the YouTube membership, and that goes straight towards keeping the channel going. So always say, guys, that if it wasn't for people being able to support me this way, I wouldn't be doing this. The amount of money, time, effort, resources, everything else I put into doing a YouTube channel certainly doesn't see any financial return, anything like that. I'm losing money every month by doing this, but when people support me on this much of a personal level, what it shows to me is that if they're willing to do that, then I can try and help as much as I possibly can to try and help you guys with your Age of Sigmar journey and everything else. So if you would like support that way, that'd be amazing. Anything from, like I say, $1, £1 upwards would be incredible. It all really goes to help. And then the people who made that amazing decision is going to be, firstly, my Vampalon Zombie Dragon, who is my biggest supporter. Filq, he gives a huge amount of support to the channel every month. So thank you so much, Filq, for keeping that for quite a long time now. Never gets unnoticed. It really does make a huge difference. Thank you so much. Please keep it up. And then my Morgasts, who are going to be Bleed Red, Mortarch of The Necropolis, and Edward P. Thank you guys for being Morgasts again at that tier. Very strong in your terms of support you're giving the channel there. Again, very grateful for that, and please do keep it up. And then my vampires, who I always say are the core, it keeps Asian Nagash going, and that's going to be Ben C, Rouse321, David A, Dragoonity, Ronni H, Darren L, SpareBear, Christopher H, Northdrop, Nathan F, Andrew G, Tom W, Wiggy Whooty, Nathan S. Thank you guys all so much for your continued support. Very generous amount you're giving. And then my Necromancers, which are going to be Jacq.l, RadiationRiley, AW77, Sagas, WolfNick, Michal W, Cranky Wombat, Tom M, Christopher C, Christopher F, James S, Thomas B, Christopher C, Christopher F, James S, Thomas B, Steve T, James T, Patrick F, JJ, R Christopher, Sception, Arnold G, and Shaun S. Thank you all so much for allowing me to keep this up and help get as many people into our amazing community of Warhammer, and in particular obviously Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and for them to continue their journey in this great hobby. Thank you guys for allowing me to do that. You people are amazing. Anyone would like to become one of these incredible people, click the join button or the link in my Patreon. Honestly, if you did that, that'd be beyond incredible how much support you can give to the channel. But if you can't do that, absolutely no worries at all. I do understand. But if you do like the video, if you could smash the like button, the subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you really want to go out your way and you want to do something for free, share the video with someone. Getting someone new to the channel is equally just as good as supporting it. So thank you for doing that if you could. And above anything else, guys, I'm just really glad that you came and checked out this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, until next time, to stay safe, stay hygienic, wear a mask, and for God's sake, wash your hands. Otherwise, forget everything good I said about Stormcast towels. They're terrible. Never collect them, and you'll roll poorly if you don't wash your hands. No, joking aside, I'm going to try and be nicer about Stormcast towels and more, because I know some people really struggle to take sarcasm. But with that, guys, remember until next time that Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.